You've been launching your boat off a saltwater ramp for how long now? 2 years? 5? Maybe 10? And in all that time, have you ever once pulled the dust cap off your trailer hub and looked at what's actually inside? I already know the answer because almost nobody does. You check your lower unit oil, you flush your engine after every trip, you probably even wax the hull twice a season. Meanwhile, the only thing keeping your 16,000-pound rig attached to the axle at 70 miles per hour is a bearing that costs less than a subway footlong, and it's been soaking in salt water since the day you bought the trailer. So we bought 5 trailer hubs, Dexter Axle, tie-down engineering, C.E. Smith, Shorelander, and a budget import off Amazon with a brand name I still can't pronounce. We cut all 5 open on camera, and what we found inside was the most predictable and the most infuriating result possible. They're all the same bearing. Every single hub contained some version of the L68149 inner bearing and the L44649 outer bearing. These are tapered roller bearing designs that Timken patented roughly a century ago. A complete kit with both bearings, both races, a seal, and a cotter pin sells for $8 to $18 online. Individual no-name bearings go for $3 to $5 each. The trailer attached to your $40,000 boat is riding on components that cost less than the gas station snacks you grabbed on the way to the ramp. I spent way too long digging through Amazon listings for these bearings, and the seller names tell you everything. We're talking ZJ Industrial, Exeek Bearings USA, and one outfit whose registered name is literally a string of untranslated Chinese characters. A 40-year bearing industry veteran on the Too Cool Fishing forum put it bluntly. All he sees at academy and marine shops are cheap Chinese bearings, and he has horror stories going back decades. Even Dexter Axle, the company that dominates the boat trailer market, ships bearings built in China under license. And here's the detail that everyone missed at the time Dexter started consolidating. They acquired TIE Down Engineering in 2017 and UFP before that. The 3 largest marine trailer axle suppliers got folded into one company. So when I say every hub has the same bearing, I'm not being dramatic. The entire supply chain funnels through the same handful of factories. Now pay attention to this next detail because it explains everything about why these bearings fail. When you cut open the bearings from all 5 hubs, the cage material was identical across the board. Stamped low-carbon steel. That's the cheapest cage option available, and it is the single worst choice for a component that gets submerged in water. Brass cages resist corrosion beautifully and are specifically recommended for marine environments. Polymer cages can't rust at all. Both exist. Neither is used because they cost more per unit. And when you're manufacturing millions of hubs, pennies matter more than your customer's safety. The grease situation was somehow worse than the cage material. When we pulled the bearings out of the Dexter hub, the grease coverage looked like someone dipped their pinky in a tub and gave it a half-hearted swipe. I personally think the factory grease fill is the most underrated part of this whole problem because it's the one thing manufacturers could fix for almost zero additional cost, and they just choose not to. A Grand Design RV owner documented cracking open brand new Lippert hubs from the factory and finding them essentially dry. An iBoats forum veteran said it perfectly. Manufacturers put in enough grease to last until the warranty expires. Less grease means more profit. Proper bearing packing means forcing grease through every roller from the large end until it squeezes out the small end, then filling the entire hub cavity. For boat trailers specifically, you want the cavity full to eliminate air pockets. That matters because of what happens at the boat ramp, which is the real killer. Your hubs are running above 140 degrees on the highway. You back down the ramp into water at maybe 55 degrees. That sudden temperature drop contracts the air and grease inside the hub, creating a partial vacuum that physically sucks water past the rear seal. Bearing Buddy's own website admits there is no such thing as a rotating seal that stays perfect. Once water gets in, standard lithium grease turns to milky sludge on contact. In salt water, corrosion starts immediately. Pitting leads to friction. Friction creates heat. Heat breaks down whatever grease is left and the bearing seizes. A bearing manufacturer stated that salt water shortens bearing lifespan by up to 60%. Bearing Buddy's own literature is even more direct. Without protectors, expect bearing failure within 2 seasons in fresh water, 1 season in salt. I mean, think about that for a second. One season, you could buy a brand new trailer in April, launch in saltwater all summer, and have a bearing failure by September. On a trailer you're still making payments on. This is exactly the kind of repair the marine industry wants you to pay a shop $300 for. The $50 Fix Bible in the bilge files walks through the full bearing repack for under $50 with the exact bearing part numbers, the right marine grease spec, and the hand pack method that actually protects against water intrusion. 6 guides, $20, 157 pages of stuff dealers hope you never read. Scan the QR code or hit the link in the description and pinned comment. If you're finding this useful, subscribe. I cover the stuff marine dealers won't tell you every single week. Alright, so here's where things get ugly. Dexter Axle has manufactured over 60 million axles across 6 decades, producing more than 3 million per year. Their NHTSA, recall history, reads like a greatest hits of bearing negligence. In 2018, they shipped 4,400-pound axles that were literally missing the inner bearing race. Just gone. The bearing had nothing to seat against. That same year, a separate recall for incorrect tapered roller bearings installed in axles. In 2022, over 27,000 Tracker Marine and Ranger trailboat trailers recalled because the boss hubs were improperly tightened, creating bearing seizure risk. And also in 2022, a stop towing recall for their Nevar lube cartridge bearing after the internal washer was found to crack under load. C.E. Smith had their own recall. Over 2,000 boat trailers where the axle weld could fail, allowing the wheel to separate completely. Tie-down engineering, before Dexter absorbed them, had a recall where metallurgical analysis revealed the heat treatment on their components was ineffective. The parts weren't properly hardened, they just looked like they were. And no, I'm not making that up. The parts passed visual inspection but failed metallurgical testing, the industry equivalent of a boat with fresh gel coat over rotting stringers. When bearings fail at highway speed, wheels leave trailers. In Yarmouth, Massachusetts in August 2024, a boat trailer suffered a broken axle on the road. 2 people stepped out to attempt repairs on the shoulder. A Cadillac SUV struck the stopped trailer, killing a 14-year-old boy at the scene. A 54-year-old man died 2 weeks later from his injuries. In Grand Rapids, Michigan, a homemade boat trailer detached from a truck and killed a woman. The builder's friend had said beforehand that he didn't feel comfortable driving it. On California's 91 freeway, a boat trailer broke loose from a U-Haul, launched over the center, median, into carpool lane traffic. The driver fled the scene. BoatUS towing data shows that 21 to 22% of all boat trailer roadside assistance calls are bearing failures. That makes it the second leading cause behind flat tires. Wheel-off accident lawsuits have produced verdicts as high as $20 million. So what do you actually do about this? The Bearing Buddy has been around since 1963. It replaces your dust cap with a spring-loaded piston that maintains about 3 psi of constant outward grease pressure. That positive pressure physically prevents the vacuum from pulling water in when you back down the ramp. A genuine pair costs $23 to $45. Users who maintain them properly report 10+ years with zero water intrusion and perfect bearings at inspection. The catch is that people screw them up. Overgreasing, pumping in more grease at every single trip, blows out the rear seal and creates exactly the water pathway you're trying to prevent. The system works if you follow the instructions. Almost nobody follows the instructions. Your minimum maintenance schedule should be an annual bearing inspection and repack. If you're launching in saltwater every 6 months, a DIY repack costs $25 to $50 in parts. A shop charges $100 to $300 per axle. Compare that to a roadside failure that averages $1,800 to $4,000 when you factor in the tow truck, emergency parts, and mobile mechanic. If the bearing destroys the spindle, and a trailer repair shop says that happens 99% of the time when things get bad enough, you're looking at a full axle replacement north of $2,000. $30 in an afternoon or $4,000 in a ruined fishing trip. Possibly worse. There are 2 types of people pulling boat trailers: those who have had a bearing failure and those who haven't had one yet. Before your next launch, pull the dust caps off your hubs. If you see milky brown sludge instead of clean amber grease, you're driving on borrowed time. Repack them. Install bearing buddies if you don't already have them, and stop trusting a $9 commodity bearing to do a job it was never designed for. YouTube thinks you'll like this video, so click it. And if you made it to the end, subscribe.